Did you know that many virtual assistants finish training, they graduated, and they are excited to start their career, but all of a sudden there is no client, and even to volunteer, it's a big problem now. And the competition is more higher than before. And do you know what exactly is the problem? The problem is not skill. The problem is not that they don't know what to do. The problem is feasibility. Now, let me break it down properly so that you can understand. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to build a personal brand that attracts clients. And you can attract different clients and founders maybe on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook. I've been there. I've gotten clients from Instagram, I've gotten clients from Facebook, I've gotten clients from Trade, as well as LinkedIn. Most of my clients are from LinkedIn. And I get these clients not by applying for jobs, but by building my personal brand and going to their DMs. But there is a strategic way to go about this. You don't just go to people's DMs and started asking them for jobs. So just stick around with me. I'm going to show you everything that you need to do to succeed in this video. And later in this video, I'm also going to show you the exact content strategy that helps virtual assistants attract the right funders. And let me ask you something. If a client search your name on LinkedIn today, what would they find? Now, let me search my name. I'm using myself as an example. If a client search for my name on LinkedIn, you can see my screen. This is my LinkedIn, and I'm searching my name. Or let me say I want to search my name, Adebisi Ebun, on Google. What will pop up? You can see what is popping up here. These are things that is showing that I'm visible online. You can see the images, you can see some of my posts, some of my social media links, my website, and the likes. And one of the biggest struggles, one of the pain points of many virtual assistants today is that they finish their training, they learn the skills, they feel excited to get started, but then something unexpected happens. No client is coming, despite the fact that they've done many things they are hot to do. Now, what I want you to do now is that I want you to comment VA if you are serious about building your personal brand in 2026. And the next thing that they start doing is that they keep applying for job here, applying for job here, going to job boards. Some even have Upwork profile, and it seems like the virtual assistant market is oversaturated, and it seems they are losing hope, they are giving up, that they can't actually get any jobs. This video, I'm going to show you how to build a personal brand as a virtual assistant so that clients can find you, trust you enough to hire you and work with you. And I'll also give you a simple content strategy that can help you get started as a beginner, so you don't keep thinking, how do I get started? How do I start my personal branding? You all know me when it comes to my YouTube channel. I don't gatekeep. I'm going to teach you an easy step-by-step way to do this. So you don't have to worry on how you can get started. If you can just pay attention and watch this video to the end, because this is going to be a long video with details. First and foremost, I once saw a virtual assistant video, and she had amazing skill, but I checked her LinkedIn profile. It only said virtual assistant, no explanation, no posting, no, there is nothing that is attracting the profile. The profile is just there, empty. Empty. And a lot of people hear the word personal branding and they think what it means is being famous online, but that is not what it means. So I'm going to explain what personal branding really means. What is personal branding? Personal branding, to simply put, it means what people see and understand about you when they find you online. So it means that if a client visits your LinkedIn profile today, what would they see? Would they see clear positioning? Would they see clear value? Would they see clear expertise of what you do? Or would they see empty profile, random posts, unclear message? Because if your profile is unclear and clients won't spend time trying to figure it out. They will just move on to people that have clear branding and authority on their profile. So your personal brand is all about what founders can see immediately when they visit your profile. So when they visit your profile, they want to see who do you help, what problem do you help them to solve online, and why should someone trust you enough to work with you? And the easiest platform to do this as a virtual assistant is LinkedIn. So if you want, I can also show you something extremely powerful. So let's go there. One simple change in your LinkedIn headline can increase the chances of a client working with you. One simple change in your LinkedIn headline can increase the chances of a client contacting you. So let's fix this step by step. The first thing every virtual assistant must optimize on their LinkedIn is their headline. Before we even talk about content, your foundation must be strong, because imagine someone discovers you, then visits your profile, and if your profile is not optimized, you lose the opportunity. So let's talk about 4 important parts of your profile. Now, the first thing is first impression. We always say that first impression lasts longer. So the first thing is your profile photo. Your profile photo should be clear, professional, simple background, good lighting. So you don't need a studio photo. And even with the help of AI, you can use AI to make your photo look professional. Let me show you how to do this with ChatGPT photo. All you just have to do is to upload any video of yours and add a prompt to it that I want you to make these pictures look professional enough with a clear background, and look at the magic that the ChatGPT just do to your profile. So you can just download this and use this for your profile photo. You can see that you don't need anything like going to the studio for anything, but you need to avoid things like dark photo, cropped group photos, or casual play picture. So look at this picture that I just edited now. It has turned into your a professional photo. That is the first thing. Remember, we are talking about 4 things that you need to do, important things that they are part of your profile that you need to do. The second thing is your headline. That is also very, very important. Your headline should communicate value, not just your life. Now, we have some bad example. For instance, if somebody visits your profile and all what they could see is virtual assistants, that's not good enough. But if you have something like helping founders streamline workflows so that they can focus on growth, is that they immediately understand what you do, that okay, you help founders streamline their workflow so that they can focus on growth. So that means you can help them at their back end section. Then the next thing is about section. Remember, we talk about your profile photo and your headline. Now, what is your about section? You can see in your about section, that is where you're going to tell your story about who you help, what problem you solve for them, and tools you use, your mission. So you need to keep it human and clear. And you also need to speak to the pain points of founders. Tell people what you've done in the past, what you've achieved in the past, and this will also communicate the value you bring to the table for them as a founder. Then the last one is the featured section. Now, this is where you show your proof. One thing that people do on the feature section is that they shows their viral posts there. That feature section is not for viral posts. Let me give you a clue. Most of the founders you're seeing online, they are busy people. They always want straight to the point information about your profile. So when they see your profile, what you can share at your visual section includes your portfolio, people that you have worked with in the past, your testimonials, your sample of work, and your case studies. Those are the things that you can share in your features section, that, oh, when people visit this section of your profile, they will say, wow, this is what you've done in the past. Like my profile now, you can see my profile. What I featured here in my profile, the first thing you're going to see is the people I've worked with. As you can see on my screen, these are people that I have worked with, and there is no way a founder that is seriously looking for a virtual assistant to work with will visit my profile and will not be fascinated by my testimonial, what people have said about my work. So these are the kind of things you need to add to your profile. I know what is in your mind right now. You're thinking that you're a beginner, you don't have testimonial. So what will you now show? Now, let me tell you something. You can actually have testimonial as a beginner. That is why you need to look at your network. Remember when you are doing your virtual assistant training, there are some things that you do a free work for people to get testimonial about what you do, maybe 1 or 2 day work. So when you do it, you ask people to give you testimonial about your work, how you perform very well. And those are the things we had to your feature section about those that you have worked with in the past. Now, that we have fixed the profile, we've talked about those 4 important sections. Let's talk about the real game changer, your content strategy. I don't want you to leave. Stick around with me in this video. You are going to learn about something most virtual assistants get completely wrong. They create content, but the content they create it for the wrong audience. This is one of the biggest mistake I've ever seen virtual assistants make. Most virtual assistants, they create content for other virtual assistants. This is what they talk about. They talk about virtual assistant struggles, they talk about virtual assistant motivations, and they talk about virtual assistant life. They even talk about their journey as a virtual assistant. But here is a question you should ask yourself. Who is supposed to hire you? Is it other VAs or your ideal clients who are founders, entrepreneurs, online business owners? So your content should speak to their problem, not your journey. Now, I'm not saying that you cannot share your journey because it's part of the story. Yes, some founders like to read about your story, how you get started in your career journey, and where you are. They are good. But when you're creating content, your content should not just be all about my VA journey. Now, here are some things you could post about. Now, you could post about 3 ways founders can reduce their inbox overwhelming. You know, that is one of the pain points of founders. They have a lot of messages in their inbox and they feel overwhelmed to open the inbox and see which of those uh, messages are important and they need to reply to. Now, your own content becomes useful for clients. And when clients see useful content, they start trusting you. Now, let me show you the simple content system I recommend for virtual assistants. Don't go anywhere. About the strategy, that's the main thing. And I believe this is where most people get stuck. Now, I want to tell you something. You don't need to post randomly because random content does not build authority. You need a simple content structure. For all my social media platform, my LinkedIn, my Instagram, I have a document where I structured my content. I talk about their pay points. You can see this is one of my documents that I use for my Instagram post. And I structured it. I create a brand. I even have a brand color, a brand font. I use Canva to do this. For instance, when I'm posting my carousel, so that my posts, when any clients come to my profile, they find it attractive, they find it relatable. You understand? They find it relatable, so they understand what exactly my brand is all about. So the first thing is that you need to identify your target audience. Ask yourself, who do I want to help? A lot of virtual assistants have different niches. You understand? Some they may want to work with startup founders, some they want to work with coaches, some want to work with online entrepreneurs, and even some they even niche down as far as they are targeting only health coaches, health and wellness coaches. Some who are into fashion, they are targeting only fashion brands. So you need to identify your target audience first and foremost. I believe you are jotting these key and important points down because this is where the main point lies. So after identifying your target audience, the next thing is to understand their pain points. Now, I want to give you a simple clue on how to understand their pain points. For example, One of the daily struggles of many founders is too many emails, scheduling chaos, administrative overload. So your content should solve this problem. And also, you can also research about your target audience. Go and see what they post. What do they talk about? What can you see in their content? Some of them, they struggle with designing a carousel for their content, and you might come in as a virtual assistant to do that for them. Now, we have talked about two things: your target audience, understanding their pain point. Now, let's talk about topic cluster. This is where the real work lies. Now, you are going to choose a topic that speak about the pain points of your clients that you want to be consistently talk about. For example, you could talk about email management, calendar organization, productivity hacks or productivity tool, delegation system. These can become your content pillar. Now, let me tell you something about content pillar or topic cluster. Now, when you say topic cluster, let's say you want to talk about email management. Like that is one of your topic cluster. When it comes to email management, what do you want to talk about? Now, email management is a big cluster that you can talk about several topics. One of the topics you can talk about is we have founders that do email marketing for their businesses. You can talk about tools. You can talk about simple tools that are budget friendly. You can talk about cost effective tools that they can leverage on that can help them streamline their workflow and manage their CRM tools. So that can be your topic cluster. You can talk about how they can set up their email marketing campaign, how they can structure their newsletter. You can even go as far as telling them how it is important to have a branded template design for their business. So these are the things you can talk about when it comes to email management. When it comes to productivity tools, you can choose topics that are related to productivity, such as tools that can help them manage their tasks. Now, let me give you one clue. Most of online founders, business owners, they want to manage their budget. They are building lean and they don't want to spend money anyhow. So when you're talking about productivity tools, you need to suggest tools that can make life easier for them, that is budget friendly, and that can solve a lot of problems. Now, I will mention one tools, Go High Level. Go High Level is one of those go-to tools that can help you to manage everything about your businesses. Talk about your blogs, your newsletter, your email marketing, your messaging, your scheduling, meeting, community, even as far as social media. You can use Go High Level for this. You can even use it for your team management. So it's one of those tools that founders can just get instead of using so many tools. You know, some people they use different kind of tools. One tools can just solve all the problem. So that is another topic cluster you can talk about. You can break this down to make it easier for you. You can leverage AI to tell you some of those topics that you can talk about as a virtual assistant. You can even ask AI to ask about your background experience, respond to AI, tell AI this is my background experience, and it's going to make it easier for you to understand the pain points of your founders and what you can talk about. So next thing is something that you are going to love, how you can stay consistent. So like I said, I have a document that I use and I noticed that most virtual assistants, they struggle with consistency. You know, they post today, they post tomorrow, and they got stuck with what would they post. Let me tell you something. If you don't plan, if you don't have structure, you can't succeed as a virtual assistant. Remember, you as a virtual assistant, you are here to manage chaos for funders. So, as somebody managing chaos for funders, you must have structure in place. Now, let me tell you something that will make it easier for you. You don't need to post every day. Consistency is more important, and here is a simple structure that can help you. Post 3 to 4 times per week. Now, what kind of posts? You are going to post relatable content topics, educational posts, story posts, authority posts, and engagement posts. Now, what is educational posts? Educational posts are just posts that educate founder. You can decide to teach a founder about a particular tools that they can leverage on as a founder, and you talk about the tips, how to get started, how to use the tool in a particular post. This could be in form of carousel or it could be a long form educational post. Then we have a story post. A story post can be your first experience as a virtual assistant, how you help a founder to manage their time, to save them hours of work. Write the story, how you started, what you do, and the results you achieved. This is a story post. Then we have authority posts. These are posts that position you as an authority in your niche. Let's say you want to talk about fashion brands and how they can stay consistent or how they can build their ecosystem or community. These are authority posts which founder reads to feel as if you are you understand what they need, you can solve the problem for them. Then we have engagement posts. These are posts that you just talk about different kind of tools, and maybe at the end of it you ask them which of those tools have they used before. You will see people commenting, oh, I've used this before, I've used that before. Or you can just ask a relatable question that will make people say something about their struggle, their businesses in the comment section. So you can just post randomly, maybe like on Monday educational post, Wednesday story post, Friday authority post, and then you keep your content balanced. So now, this is where we are going about.
I'll be sharing a guide, a comprehensive virtual assistant content strategy, and that is exactly what you're seeing on my screen. Now, this guide have everything you need to get started as a virtual assistant. So if you've been thinking of how can I start my personal branding, how can I create content, what are the topics I can talk about, everything is being explained in this guide. Now, this guide is having 6 parts. I'm going to walk you through each part and what it entails and what you are expected to learn. Now, you have at the end of each chapter, there is reflection and exercise. There are AI prompts that can help you streamline your workflow and make it easier for you. But you just need to prompt the AI the right way. So now let's go to the parts, different parts of this guide. This first part is talk about the importance of niche. It talks about the power of niche and why you need to have a niche as a virtual assistant. You know, virtual assistant is all about supporting people. Now, who are the kind of people you want to support? You cannot be talking to anybody. You must have a group of people that you want to work with, and that is niche. You can't be a virtual assistant for everyone. So when you choose a specific target audience, it actually help you to be more focused on your content and your skill becomes sharper and your posting becomes stronger. So when you are creating content, you know you are speaking to a group of people. That is the power of niche. And that is what you're going to learn in this first section. So you will learn how to choose the right niche, how to position yourself strategically, and use AI to work smarter while building authority. So that is the introductory part. Now let's go to the second part. Which talks about that is going to be the second part of this. It talks about niche-based content positioning. Niche-based content positioning. Just as you cannot be speaking to everyone, your content positioning should also be niche-based. It should speak to people directly in such a way that when people feel your content, they will know that, oh, this is talking to me. Oh, I'm a target audience. Let me reach out to her. So either you are a social media virtual assistant, email marketing virtual assistant, graphic designer, or a strategy backend virtual assistant, this particular section is going to show you exactly how to speak to your target audience in a way that attracts clients. So this is a premium positioning for you and for your business. And like I said, in each of these chapters, there are modules. There are target audience. For instance, if you're a social media manager, virtual assistant, we have ID clients and industries. Everything is explained in this book because I took my time. I really took my time to make sure that this book really speaks to the pain points of virtual assistants who are struggling with personal branding. They don't really know what to post. Let me tell you, when it comes to personal branding, even if you take virtual assistant training, nobody is going to give you a step-by-step approach to your personal branding. No, you're the one that's going to think like, oh, this is what I want to be talking about, and I've made it easier for you by putting everything together in this guide. Now, the part three is all about done for you system planning. So, one thing I notice about people is that when it comes to content, some people create content from their head. They just feel like, today let me talk about these tools, tomorrow let me talk about these, and they are not even having any structure when it comes to content. Do you know that as a virtual assistant, if you are positioning yourself, if you are branding yourself, if you're showing up, you want to be visible, there are some things you need to know. There are some structure you need to put in place. You need to have a content strategy for your business. You need to track your analytics, what is working well, which of the content are people resonating with, and the likes. So all these things have to be in place. So this part has a already done for you content planning system. So you don't need to start thinking, how do I plan my content? What spreadsheet should I use? How do I go about this? Everything is well structured here for you. So you don't have to worry. So in this section, you're going to see how you can turn your idea into organized topic cluster, plan your content in advance, use ready-made 30 days calendar, build a 90-day growth map. And you can also track what is working and improve your strategy. So in this part, your strategy has to be practical, something that you can do, you can execute every day. That is exactly what this section is all about. So there are done for you pillar content, supporting content. You're going to learn about everything in this section. Then the next part that we'll be talking about is the part four. The part four is all about content strategy for beginners who are still learning. This is very important because I noticed that a lot of beginners, when they get started, they don't know how to show up. Now, as you're getting started as a beginner, there are some things that you need to do to show up. For instance, you can start talking about your journey, your virtual assistant journey, how you started, what you were doing before. I remember back then when I started my virtual assistant program, I talked about what I learned every day on LinkedIn. I share my progress. Oh, this week I learned how to use these tools. Yeah, my key takeaways for this week. So I was structuring myself, I was positioning myself, I was talking about my wins, what I've learned for each of the week. So if you're a beginners, I see a lot of people. I usually tell beginners that reach out to me that, oh, they want to take a virtual assistant course. Once they start taking the course, I tell them, as you are taking your course, start building your brand, start getting yourself visibility. And how can you do it? You must have been doing something before. For instance, I was a teacher. So I started by talking about my teaching experience and why I'm transitioning. Then I started sharing my journey. In fact, when I was looking for tax, VA tax to do, I remember I have to reach out to people on LinkedIn that, oh, if you have any tax you want to give me so that you can give me a review, I'm willing to do it. And I also reach out to my network. So how can you now create content that is going to help you as a beginner? So this is where this part comes in. So everybody is once a beginner, so nobody is perfect. So if you are just getting started, you must have that humble beginning. So this particular section talks about why many beginners are infeasible, and you also learn the kind of content you can share while you are still learning, and how to position yourself with confidence even before you had your first client. It is very, very important. You see some people, when they take virtual assistant training, they go far. Before you know it, they already have clients, they're working remotely. Why? Because they are already feasible as they are getting started and they are moving with energy. So it is very, very important when you getting started in your career journey. So I always tell beginners, there is no way you can be shy about your progress. Everybody have been there. So as you're getting started, start telling people who you are, what you do as a virtual assistant, and how you help people. Then the fifth one is personal branding authority visibility system. So this is a total system that can help you build authority as you are building your personal brand. And this section, you are going to learn how personal brand attracts high quality clients and how to position yourself as a specialist in your niche. And you will also learn how to grow your visibility step by step, build a reputation that makes founders confident about working with you. And the goal is not just to post content. The goal is to create a presence that clarity shows your value and your expertise. And the goal is to make money from your content. Let people reach out to you and work with them from your content. That is the goal. The goal is not just to post content randomly and the likes. So you need to do that. Then the final one, the last part of the section in this guide is the sixth part, which talk about monetization and client attraction from content. You know what is called monetization, how you can monetize your content. Did you know that I've got brand collaboration on LinkedIn just from posting? I talk about tools that founder can use, and this particular brand, they reach out to me that can I write about their brand, what they do, their tools, and I wrote post about it. I think I wrote 3 posts about it. Then I also go live on Facebook because I told them I have large following on Facebook, and I shared the screenshot with her and I got paid. So apart from working as a virtual assistant. You can also get brand to partner with you. I've also gotten brand from YouTube. You can see it here. They reach out to me that they want to work with me. Can I create a video for them? So that is just it. So you can monetize a lot of things as a virtual assistant if you have a strong visibility, if you build your personal brand. So what you're going to learn in this section is how to turn your content into a client attraction system in such a way that you can guide interested people from reading your post to starting meaningful conversation about your service and eventually working with them. So that is what this section is all about. How you can turn content into inbound leads, calls to action strategies that work. Some people just post and at the end of the post, there's nothing. They are not sending people anywhere. So this page talks about how you can add a meaningful call to action to your content, how you can leverage AI, and how you can move followers into conversation, lead magnet for virtual assistants. Now, I want to expatiate on this lead magnet here. Now, as a virtual assistant, you want to grow as an authority. You can create a lead magnet for founders. For instance, you can create a short PDF guide that can help founders know how to plan their content, how to organize their back end, a simple workflow template for managing tasks or social media checklist. These templates, you can use it to get leads from founders. How does this work? This is how it works. So now when you create a lead magnet, maybe a simple guide, and you ask people to download it, of course, before they download it, they have to sign up and give you their email and their name. So those emails and names, they are called leads. That's what we call leads. So for anybody that is downloading your lead magnet, maybe you create a lead magnet on a productivity checklist for founder and you ask them to download it. For anybody that have access to that document link, they download it. They are going to get their email. Now, the goal is that anybody that is downloading this, it means this person is a founder, is managing his or her backend system alone and need help. And it also shows that this person can become your potential client. So what do you need to do? You need to grab them by the hand. That is when you start setting up maybe emails, newsletter for them to connect with you, and you talk about your offer, your pricing, and how you run your business. Remember, positioning matter. If I am a founder, I came across your LinkedIn profile, you share a post, and maybe in the comment section, you drop a guide for me to download, and I download it. Probably I'm looking for virtual assistant. The fact that you share a lead magnet with me that I download shows that you have something to offer. It shows that you are an authority. So if I'm considering getting a virtual assistant, I'm going to prioritize you compared to somebody that is just posting randomly as a virtual assistant. Because for you to create a lead magnet for me for free, for me to download a resources that can help me in my business, it shows that you know what you're doing and you really understand your work as a virtual assistant. So lead magnet is very, very important. You can create simple PDF guide that is less than 10 pages, 15 pages, 20 pages or more, depending on your ability and what you want to offer. This build trust, it build authority, it build authenticity. So it makes you believe that no, this person can do the job. So I will encourage you to get this guide. The link is in the comment section. I added it to the pinned comment, and you know, I also talk about how you can get your paying clients consistently and how you can get clients as a beginner. So everything are in this book. Your journey starts now and you need to work on how you can succeed. And let me tell you, the virtual assistant world is the competition is high. So if you are want to become a virtual assistant, you must learn how to use relevant skills. Number one, you must learn how to do many things. You can't just be an administrative virtual assistant. You need to expand beyond that. So administrative virtual assistants, you must know how to design video, just short video content, probably using Canva or using the popular CapCut or any other video editing software. You must learn how to write blogs. You must learn email marketing and every other things that when a founder sees you, they are not going to see you just as a virtual assistant. They are going to see you as a strategic operational partner because you know how to use a lot of tools. You can do a lot of things. Those are the kind of experience that founders are looking for. And I also want to ship this in. If you're a virtual assistant and you're looking for volunteering roles, or maybe you just want to do something, work on a project that you can show as proof of your work. It is good. It is important to do all this. But how can you do it? The best way to do it is to reach out to people, go to social media platform, ask about it. If anybody wants somebody that can do a task for them, and they will give you a review. There are many Facebook groups you can go where you can work on projects and people will give you a review. And these are part of things that make you have confidence that builds your portfolio. So as you're getting started, don't look at the money. Don't think money is the next thing for you. You're looking for big money. It's better to trust the humble beginning. Make sure you have the skill, the experience, learn how to use tools. These are things that can make you succeed in your future career as a virtual assistant. So I will encourage you to get this guide. Get the guide because this will really, really help you in your career journey. I make it easy. I make it easy because I understand that a lot of people get stuck, and I also share some of my story in this guide. So I make it easier for you. So you don't need to start worrying about what to do, how to create content. I even give you ChatGPT prompts that you can use just to make sure that you don't get stuck when it comes to your personal branding as a virtual assistant and you are able to succeed at the end of the day. So this is everything you need, the virtual assistant content strategy for building personal branding. So, thank you. Thank you. I also talk about the pillar of strong brand positioning in this particular guide. So, it is very, very important to have that strong positioning if you want to succeed. And remember, nobody is going to do it for you. You have to do it by yourself. That is just the reality. No one will save you. You have to save yourself.
Advise you on something. Building a personal brand is not about being perfect. It's about showing up consistently. Let me tell you something. There is something called rebranding, re-strategizing. When I first started as a virtual assistant and I was posting, I'm not having the perfect post. I'm not having the perfect positioning. I'm not having the perfect authority. But one thing that stood out for me is that if I didn't start, if I didn't post, there will be no room for improvement. Take note of that. So if you didn't start something, you don't post or anything as a virtual assistant. You just graduated and you're looking to the sky, praying to God for miracle to happen. Miracle is not going to happen because even faith without work is dead. So if you pray and you are not working about your visibility, your personal branding, your prayer won't work. There is nothing like miracle. And another thing I want to tell you is that when it comes to remote work, nobody is going to find job for you. You have to look for the job by yourself because it's something that is very competitive. It's even getting more competitive now. So don't think about perfection. Remember this, anytime you make a post is an opportunity for somebody to see you, to know you, and clients are already online. Let me tell you this. People keep searching for virtual assistants every day. I mean real people. I'm not talking about scammers who are online. Real people, they are available online. They are searching for people who can help them. The question is, if they search for you today, will they find you? And how can they find you? I've explained everything. And I want you to get that, my guide, download it. This is going to really help you to position yourself. And we live in the world of AI. So you don't need to overthink what to do. I've already put everything in place. So you can position yourself as a professional clients are looking for. And if this video help you in one way or the other, make sure you like the video, subscribe to this channel, and share with another virtual assistant who need this message. And I would also love to know in the comment section, what skill do you offer as a virtual assistant? And this is the end of my video. Thank you for staying with me to this very moment. I really appreciate. And I also want to tell you that as a virtual assistant, don't ever underestimate the power of humble beginning. Stay humble, start from the beginning, and you are going to witness growth as you proceed. So thank you for staying tuned. You're welcome to join my virtual assistant WhatsApp community. In this community, you're going to get a first update when I'm going live, and I also talk about tools. You can learn about tools on my platform. So I usually go live every week to talk about tools that you can learn how to use as a virtual assistant. And you're welcome to subscribe. See you in my next video. I am rooting for you. Bye.